I think a lot about health and what's kept you healthy all these years. And I remember back to your early days when you played baseball. Do you contribute anything of your longevity to
To
your earlier
baseball?
years in baseball?
Yeah, probably so because a lot of people don't know the story. I remember getting an opportunity to play professionally over in Australia, and before cell phones, by the way, before computers.
Well, that's a while ago.
None of
You're
Yeah, I know
dating
it.
yourself.
It's aging me, right? But you didn't know I started playing baseball when I was -10. So there you go. Think about that one. Not
Minus
too much
10.
though, right? But the bottom line is, when I got on the plane in Tulsa, Oklahoma, I didn't know anything about it. I remember flying over there all those hours and landing in Fiji, the island of Fiji, to refuel. Seeing people standing around with machine guns, and I thought, "What is this?" Then I wore cowboy boots, and my feet swelled, and I had no idea that you don't do that on a plane. But when I got there, I had nothing to do. I mean, I didn't know anybody. I was one of two Americans on the team. I knew that one a little bit. The other one, I'm still friends with him. He still lives there now. He married a lady and had a couple kids over there, and we still talk occasionally via, email or something. But I got over there and had to figure it out, and I wasn't the most fit guy in the world, so we would play in the evenings and practice in the evenings for the most part, and so I started working out, and my whole sort of physique changed. I began to start to see development and get in shape and realize the importance of it. So it kind of really started the fitness journey way back then.
Yeah, well, you were a catcher, right?
Yeah.
Did you ever get hit in the head with one of those
Oh
fastballs?
my gosh, I get hit in the head with fastballs and bats, and yeah, you just kind of like a hockey goalie. You kind of get used to it the way it
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
But man, I tell you, I took a lot of fastballs right off that mask, and and even some of them would be coming so fast off that bat, nearly 100 miles an hour. It'll jar your jaws and jar your head. No question, it hurt.
Did it ever give you a headache?
Well, yeah, it gave me a headache, and but look, I didn't come out of the game like that one guy did. Remember that.
Oh, yes.
This is a famous
Mm,
story. I don't know if you know this, but there was a guy. His name was Wally Pipp, and he played for the Yankees. And he got a headache one day, and he couldn't play the
yeah,
next day.
they didn't they take him out of the game and put somebody else
They
in
did,
there that
and
was another major league
one of the
player?
greatest streaks ever began because somebody had a headache. I think about that. Lou Gehrig, did you know that? Lou Gehrig came in the game and was given an opportunity because Wally Pipp had a headache.
Well, I think back to all of the things that we could do about headache, naturally. We reach for those over-the-counter medications and
Yeah.
we forget to look to what Mother Nature can actually do for a headache.
Well, there's a lot of things, and by the way, I never came out of the game when I got a headache because I knew somebody would be standing up behind me ready for the opportunity. So, it's really important though. But yeah, people today they take ibuprofen and Tylenol, and not that those are all bad, but it makes you go, are they the best things people can do, and are there other things people can do or should do?
Most people that come into the clinic, oftentimes, if we can just get them off, number one, gluten,
Oh yeah, man.
we
Yeah.
can get them off the things that are destroying their GI tract, we can detoxify them. Oftentimes, that's the first step in getting someone to have the resolution of headaches.
Yeah, I was thinking about a mutual friend of ours that we recently saw. He came in the clinic one day and he'd had chronic headaches for years, migraine headaches, that were debilitating. I mean, he might miss a day of work occasionally. And we started looking at a few things. And basically, all we did is this: I pulled him off of gluten. We gave him some magnesium. We gave him some vitamin B12, and then we gave him a little bit of coenzyme Q10. Those four things we did, took away one and gave him three, and they went away. And it didn't take him a week. No, it was one day. And he was like, I can't believe it. All these years I've been taking ibuprofens. And by the way, he had chronic GI stuff going on too. So
That
there
kind
you
of
go. That
makes
went away.
sense. Yeah. So if ibuprofen tears up the gut, gluten tears up the gut, if we're
There you
doing a
go.
lot of things that are destroying this thing we call the dirt suit or the skin bag, we've got to repair the GI tract first and then put nutrients on board, like you mentioned, magnesium, coenzyme Q10, tell us about different types of magnesium that might be important in relationship to absorption.
Well, with him, I mean, I used a magnesium threonate. For those of you that may be wondering what that is, it's THREONATE. It's sort of a one that we focus on that goes across the blood-brain barrier. But I like magnesium glycinate as well. I don't like magnesium oxide very much. It tends to be pretty cheap. But for those that are out there that maybe want to take a magnesium for your headaches, don't take a lot of magnesium citrate because that will not affect your headaches.
It's going to send you to the bathroom.
Yeah, that's like you take a bunch of that and you're going to be heading to the bathroom. So the bottom line is there's magnesium malate, which can give you energy. So all these different types of magnesiums were good, but I gave him magnesium threonate. And I don't think it was very much, as I recall, maybe 400 or 500 milligrams. It wasn't a lot. That was all it took. Coenzyme Q10, I gave him 200 milligrams. Vitamin B12, I gave him 3,000 micrograms of a couple different forms, but it wasn't cyanocobalamin. So, normally you can do, one of those things and it works. You can take away the gluten and that's fine. But I went ahead and went all in because he's our friend. But that fixed his problem.
So we got to get rid of the pollutants, the persistent organic pollutant load, the things that come in to destroy us. We have to put the right nutrients on board, perhaps magnesium coenzyme Q10. I
Yep.
know there's a lot of stuff out there about omega-3s, which we can talk probably hours and hours about how that takes inflammation down. So several different things from getting the diet right, putting the nutrients on board that are necessary, all to avoid a headache so you're not taken out of a Major League Baseball game.
Yeah, no doubt. And if you're out there and you say, well, man, I've been struggling with this for a while, chronic migraines from taking ibuprofen like they're going out of style. You don't have to. There's other ways around it. So you can reach out to us and get our little tricks and secrets to this, and you don't have to have a headache any longer that's bothering you.
And when you navigate through these economies with people, here's what happens. We want to hold their hand through it, let them know when it's time to buy, sell, reallocate, get out of Dodge. Because a lot of times when you're struck with fear does two things. Number one, it can paralyze, and people just put their head in the sand and say, I'm just going to forget about it and hopefully it gets better. Or it causes you to make a wrong decision. And this is why we are here, is to help people navigate through the political quagmire nonsense that's going on, the economic malaise and the absolute collapse that we're seeing. And when our freedoms are eroding, our political freedoms, our economic freedoms, our personal freedoms, our religious freedoms, our health freedoms, they're all tied together. But you know what doesn't need to erode with that? Our finances.
KirkElliottPhD.com/Sherwood.
Have you ever witnessed any miracles in your lives about anything that you would think of that could be along the same kind of line if you had any kind of parallel with it?
I guess like my mom and I moving to the country, that was like a big gamble. We moved on the 4th of July, so our anniversary is coming up on moving here. And then that was a huge gamble that she took. I was 4, so I didn't realize what it was. But I don't think if we stayed in Hungary, I would be here right now making this movie. So I guess that's the closest in my life that I have to like kind of a miracle that I didn't know was gonna happen.
For me, I actually, when I was like 5 or 6, something like that, I had some kind of disease with like my kidneys that is like super rare and they only study about in med school, but they never really saw a case. So I had it. So I had like doctors from all over like the States kind of coming in and looking at me.
Wow.
And I technically died for like 10 seconds. I flatlined.
Whoa.
Yeah, my mom went out to grab a Buzz Lightyear VHS that I really liked. And when she came back, it was like complete flatline. And I saw an angel that day, which was pretty crazy because the first thing I said to my mom apparently was that there was a really nice man with blonde hair and blue eyes, like saying it's okay.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's pretty crazy.
That's insane. And I'm also so glad I went first. I wouldn't have been able to top that. Wow. That's amazing.
Let's get real. Most emergency food is just as bad for you as any other choice in the standard American diet. And that's just sad.
We don't just need food, we need highly nutritional food.
We don't just want to survive food shortages, we are meant to thrive in adversity.
Complete your daily nutrition and have shelf-stable Kingdom Fuel as a cornerstone of your food supply.
Don't sacrifice your health or your taste buds.
Stock up on Kingdom Fuel now.